Que lo que papis. We have an amazing show planned. It's OGV episode 15. We got Lex in the building. One of the best major finishes we've ever seen. John from Scottsdale pulling it off. College World Series in full swing. NBA Twitter had a field day with Ben Simmons yesterday. Electricity all throughout the weekend. It was amazing. And then we're going to finish it off with a little decompression, talking all things shower beers at the end of the show. First thing is first, Stripe Golf Co. StripeGolfCo.com. Go to StripeGolfCo.com, follow their Instagram account. They got great hats. They're always posting, they're always grinding. Get yourself a hat at StripeGolfCo.com. Lex, what do you got for us?
Golf degenerates, baby. Like I've said before, killer Instagram page, good content, great logo, great swag. That's the t-shirt. I got a sticker. For those of you that have listened in and tuned in for the past few podcasts, they got great golf balls, great hats, great towels. They got good merch. So I've said it once. I'll say it again. You know, we're big fans. We're Golf Degenerate fans. Give them a follow, shoot them a like, shoot them a comment.
All right. Welcome, Lex. How the hell are you?
Doing? I'm
what
great.
A weekend it was.
You called it.
How did you watch? How did you consume over the weekend? How did you consume all the sports that we had?
So I went back to my parents' house to celebrate Father's Day. So obviously I was a little limited, but you know, my parents are golf fans, so I was able to watch a good amount of the golf. Watch some college baseball on Saturday, watch some college baseball on Sunday, kind of tuned into the end of the Nets Bucks game. So I got a little bit of everything. Not quite the double TV 14-hour day that you had yesterday, but I got a lot of it.
Yeah, yesterday was a marathon, man. I mean, we started on Saturday with Stanford, NC State. We said, you know, two of the hottest teams coming in, and then NC State, they just beat Vanderbilt, just playing good baseball. That's what they do, playing a great brand of baseball. They're the hottest team in the tournament right now. So we had that. Then we had the marathon 14-inning Vandy, Arizona game. That was epic. And then Sunday, wow. We had some of the fellas came over. We had, I want to say, probably 40 plus beers that were deleted amongst all of us. And you sprinkle in a little bit of the devil's lettuce, rally devil's lettuce, as we called it for Rom. And clearly it worked. That's where we're going to start. US Open. That was everything you could have possibly had hoped it to be. There were meltdowns. There were just massive stones on the ground, putts. We had crazy lies. Bryson hit the ball into a 12-pack of Stellas. We had, was it Hughes hit one into a tree?
Yep.
It was fireworks. Louis duck hooked one to Mexico, as the announcer said. It was just, it was nonstop left and right. We're going to start Jay from S, John from Scottsdale, Rombo. I called it. I mean, it was a popular pick, but I mean, you still got to go out there and execute. Got to go out there and execute. And boy, did he ever. What are your thoughts on the Rombo?
Well, I first got to congratulate you. You've been on the Rombo train basically since I started joining you on this podcast about 10 weeks ago. You picked him for about everything. You've loved the way he's played. He kind of got screwed at what was the tournament? Do you know
The
the
Memorial?
name? Yeah, I got screwed at the Memorial tournament, but he was going to win that one. You said he was a lock for this one, and sure enough, he pulled it off. He was the best golfer for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he was just playing very good golf throughout the whole weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday is about staying in it. Friday is about kind of you're not making your push yet. Saturday, no one really made a push. So he was just still kind of hanging around. And then he just played mistake-free golf. I think he had one bogey in the round on the front nine. But the U.S. Open, it's usually the guys that don't make the mistakes. They save the par. They get up and down. It's not like they're going out. It's not a birdie fest out there. So that's basically what Rom did. He was patient. He said it himself. He was very patient. And then he goes out there and then He saves par out of the bunker right on 16. Saves par out of the bunker, or it was 15 or 16.
So I
Where
think he saved par on 15, right?
okay,
He hit a 200-yard shot from the bunker, par 4, I think, right? Saves
right,
par.
right,
16 is that long ass par 3 that was playing like 230 on the last day.
parred
And
that.
I think he went on the green, two putted, and then 17, 18. I mean, I'm sure most people saw that. Birdie with
You
two
would have
epic
thought there
putts.
was an earthquake in my apartment the way we erupted. It was like my neighbors are probably like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" Because we were high fiving. I mean, I have this written down. So he sinks the putt on 17. Sinks pretty much what was kind of an identical putt on 18, right? Going to
Yeah,
the right.
they're both very similar. I think downhill to the right.
Yeah. So perfect touch, perfect read, and uh, he has such a good fist pump game. I know it's being talked about a lot, but my God, that's an electric fist pump. Um, what's your celebration after you hit one of those or both of those? What are you going with?
I think I'm naturally a guy where the putter goes in the air as I think it's going to go in, and then when it goes in, I just kind of let it fall into my hand, catching it, on the actual head of the club. I feel like I do that naturally on good swings. So that's me. Celebrate early, and then hope it goes in.
I like that. I
What
like
about
that. Pimp the
what about
home
you?
run and then pray. Um, there's a few. There's a few
Let's hear them.
thoughts that came to my mind. Unrelated, I was thinking about home run celebrations, like when he hit that, and I was wondering if you could get called out of the baseline on a home run. In other words, what I would do, go to first base and then take a right turn to right field and just start high fiving the fans, essentially just doing a full victory lap. But if I make that putt, I think I got to go with the Achilles from Troy. You've seen Troy?
I haven't. No,
What in the fuck, dude?
I'm sorry, dude. We're not on the same page
I'm
for
start giving.
movies.
I'm dead ass gonna start giving you homework.
Hey,
Um,
well, just explain it. There's probably people out there that haven't seen Troy.
so there's a scene where Brad Pitt, aka Achilles, takes his spear and hucks it about, I don't know, a football field, and he just dots someone right in the chest, kills him. Um, I wouldn't try and kill anyone. I would try and maybe, but I don't know. I would fucking black out. But I would take my putter and just javelin throw it to somewhere, maybe, especially on 18. It's like I can just get a new putter. I would javelin throw that maybe
Right.
into the ocean, especially because you're at Torrey Pines, you're right on the ocean. So I would javelin throw my putter into the ocean. And then I'd probably do a few laps with the fans just to get them involved as well.
I mean, yeah, I love that you're getting the fans involved, but I mean, logistically, like, let's be smart here. It wasn't over. John Rahm chucks his putter into the water. There could have easily been a playoff. And no, you don't just get another putter for the playoff. You're putting with a sand wedge. So,
Don't care.
so is the
Don't care.
celebration worth it? I don't know, man. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Another celebration he had his kid, Keppa. He could have done the Simba, like just grabbed Keppa and just holds him up to the crowd,
That would have been
similar
sick.
to the Lion King. I mean, the crowd would have gone ballistic.
That would have fired up the crowd for sure.
Yeah. So you got a couple of good options with that celebration there. Phil was in his corner the whole time. He was doing the it was like Roger Mayweather with Floyd Mayweather, just right there in his corner, giving him tips, hanging out with Rombo's wife, which there's some speculation there, but we won't get into that. But
Well, who's
overall,
speculating? Are you speculating?
I was not speculating. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the only one speculating.
I don't. Phil, I'll say this: Phil is just one cool cat. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
But overall, John from Scottsdale, we got anything else on that
The
before we
one
get to
thing I
the
wanted to
meltdowns?
say was 18. Obviously you love the putt, you remember the putt, but you got to appreciate the smart shot out of the bunker right there. If he shoots directly at the pin, there's a good chance that ball goes in the water if he goes past the hole. So he plays it safe and chips it a little more towards the middle of the green and bets on himself to make the putt. And sure enough, he he did that. So he played it safe while also being aggressive. I just thought it was just great golf down the stretch.
That's a great point. Another one on 18 too. Like when you have that type of adrenaline and you pipe a drive to just right down the dick, that's another just amazing feeling.
I mean, it's like the hardest step one complete. I mean, you saw Louis needed to do it on 18. All of a sudden, he pretty much put himself out of the tournament by just hitting his drive in the rough. I mean, especially in the U.S. Open, I mean, that's got to be a relief.
Well, yeah, that's a perfect segue into Louis. A meltdown on 17. I mean, he could have went so far right and hit the fans. Like he could have dotted a fan. He could have just full Rozzy slice mode into the gallery. And he does the one thing. It's like what you were saying. You can't hit the ground when you putt.
Yeah.
You can't duck hook that on 17 into Mexico.
Yeah, the announcers were pretty hilarious on that one. They're giving him a lot of shit. Like the guy's been like the best golfer all weekend, besides maybe like him and Rahm, the two best golfers all weekend. And they just tear into him on 17 when he hits that drive.
All respect was lost for Louis at that one shot.
I know, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. He hit every drive down the middle all day, so you can't you just got to miss right there. You just can't miss left.
Yep, and then he does not to the same degree on 17. Hooks it again on 18 into the rough. And I mean, he couldn't go for the green in 2, although I don't know why he at least didn't give it a go. I guess you're going to lose money coming in if you end up double bogeying, whatever, you're going to lose some cash, but physically, I don't know if he had the physical strength to get the ball there. So
yeah, maybe, I mean, he was 245, 250 out. I don't even know what you hit out of that thick of rough to give it a shot. I mean, I don't know if you hit a hybrid or you just try and roll one up there on the right side. But Louis, I mean, he 16, 17, 18, he needed a birdie at some point. You weren't going to get it on 16. You're not getting a birdie on 16. So step one, he had a great hole on 16, that 230-yard par 3 like I was talking about. 17, you just got to par it because 18 is the one to birdie. So he almost did exactly what he had to do. He just put the pressure on to try and force himself to get an eagle on 18. So I was a little disappointed. I wanted there to be a playoff, but
I was rooting for free golf. I was so rooting for free golf.
So he almost did what he had to do. A little bit of a meltdown.
Yeah, but
that's all.
I mean, overall, Louis, hats off to you, man. Like he plays so well in majors. He just has only won one. So we're Louis guys. We really are.
He really seemed so cool, calm, and collected down the stretch. I mean, everyone else started melting down, missing putts, balls over the place, and he just seemed relaxed, same smooth swing, and was hitting good shots for the most part. So he's a guy that can hang under pressure for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Rory got the putting yips.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's mental. That is so mental. What is going through his mind? Is it just one putt and then you just lose it? Or how does that even work where you just completely lose feel?
Personally, I don't know if this is how the professional golfers think about it, but once I start thinking too much and start overcomplicating my putts and not just reading it, no shot, those are going in. When I just read it, go with my gut first read, those are usually a little bit better. So I just got to imagine pressure's on, he's overthinking it, being too fine with it, and it just led to a lot of missed putts that he should have made.
Yeah, I always liken it to pitching. It's like when you're working quick, you're not even thinking about it. You're just in the flow of the game. Everything's going right. You're pounding the zone, splitting the plate in thirds, not trying to nibble. Whereas, when you slow the tempo down, you start thinking about trying to be too perfect, trying to be too fine. You start to nibble, you lose the strike zone. Next thing you know, it's an avalanche of shit that comes your way. So that's kind of what my mindset is. That's what I think happened with Rory. He just started thinking a lot, slowed the tempo down, got out of his putting rhythm, and then next thing you know, he's out of the tournament.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Before we get into Bryson, I want to give a big shout out to the fans, the gallery on Sunday, because we had shanked shots all over the fucking field. all over the place on Sunday. Guys were topping balls, skull fucking balls into the galleries, and the fans, no one, I don't think anyone got hit or injured. Could you imagine Bryson just skull fucking a ball and you get sniped in the calf? Like that would be so agonizing pain. And everyone had their head on a swivel. Everyone had their head on a swivel, and it made for some great content because no one ended up actually getting hurt.
I feel like Bryson wouldn't even be nice about it if he hit someone with a ball. I feel like he'd just walk up and be like pissed that the fan like got hit by a ball.
Well, we saw that he fucking completely hit one into the gallery on one hole and didn't call for, didn't do anything. He just picked up his tee like an asshole.
I love that. Like they have the guys behind the tees that are basically just like, I'm trying to think of like traffic controllers on the runway of an airport. It's like down the middle. They're just like, yep, it's down the middle. But when it's left or right, they are not shy about letting everyone know that ball is going left or right.
Yeah, I love it. That's one of the most underrated parts about like watching golf is when someone hits a shot so errant and you just see everyone pointing.
Both caddies,
pointing
the other
yeah.
guy, people in the state. Yeah, getting that other angle of seeing them hit the ball towards you is a pretty fun golf angle.
Yeah, I like it. I also like when they have the drone that follows it in the air.
That's a cameraman.
What?
The guy that follows the ball, like the tee shots that it's just locked in on the ball. It's one guy who does like all these tournaments and he's been doing it for years and he's just the best at it. And he's in like a scissor lift and
Whoa.
he's the guy. I forget his name, but it's like he provides a lot of value to, NBC and CBS and the Golf Channel because he's the only guy that can truly track these golf balls, I guess.
He's just the MJ of cameraman.
Dude, people don't
The
talk about him.
goat. I know.
They
Someone
only talk
needs to
about Bones. They're always talking about Bones, but I want to talk about the guy that's in the scissor lift.
Who the fuck is Bones?
Bones is the guy that walks with the features group, and they're like, "What do you see down there, Bones?" And he's like,
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh
Okay.
yeah, Bryson just snapped his putter in half and called someone, a bitch or something like that." Not that he would ever say that, but that's the idea.
Speaking of Bryson, that was an all-time meltdown. It was like when you look at meltdowns in golf, you think of that Spieth Masters. There's plenty to choose from, but that's up there with them all. What did he card on the back nine? A 44, 42, which is a great score for us. Like I'm fired up on
44. 44.
Yeah, that's wild. There was that one par five where he carded the 8, triple bogey.
Par 4, quadruple bogey.
Quad. So he went quad. Thank you. And he had 3 straight shanks, three straight shanks.
Dude, I keep saying this. He's like good, but I've seen this happen this year. He's the only guy that'll top a ball, shank a ball. I don't know what the deal is, like why he misses by so much. Like no one else does that. It's because he's weird ass swing probably.
Yeah, he had the one, once again, he hit it right next to a 12 pack of Stellas, which is.
Why was that box sitting there? Did they talk about that at all?
I don't know. Someone clearly left an unprotected box of Stellas. Can you bring beer into the.
I don't think so. But maybe someone was able to convince the concessions to just sell them a 12 pack.
I know. I was going to say, are they selling 30s there? Be awesome.
Sell a 30 rack for $100. They make so much profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
People would buy that for sure.
He also had the one chip where he was kind of standing in the bunker and then, but it was in the rough. So it was a really tough lie. Like it's obviously a very difficult shot, but you just see it immediately come off the club and it's like, oh my God, that could hit someone. Just a line drive up the middle. That went very far into it was Bryson left and right, was miss hitting balls, which I'm not going to say I root for someone to just completely melt down, but it was very entertaining to watch.
Oh yeah. And I have a personal question for you about this. So us regular golfers, we have these meltdown holes all the time. You can count on 1 or 2 around for the most part, sometimes even more. What do you do to get back into a into a round after that meltdown hole? How do you get back into it?
I honestly don't know, because a lot of the times these meltdowns, I just black out. I'm like, what the like what the fuck just happened? And like this shit happens too. This happened in baseball where yeah, I obviously I had way more good than bad in baseball. But you look at the Oregon State game, I gave up 8 runs in the first inning and just like came off the field. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? There was another game in high school where I gave up 6 in the first to St. Francis. Like, what the fuck just happened? So it's very similar to golf where I'll just card an 8 and I guess the way I get back into it is I just wake up out of some shitty trance that I'm in where I just forget how to play sports.
I mean, obviously you can't do this when you're playing high school or college baseball, but I was kind of expecting you to say that you just immediately go to a shotgun. You just rally shotgun a beer or a White Claw and then just get back into it. Because I've seen you do that. I've literally seen you melt down, shout out our Scottsdale trip, and then shotgun a couple White Claws and boom, you started playing some great golf.
Yeah, I think that I might have to settle into that routine if need be. Hopefully that doesn't happen too much often. I know it will happen, but I think that's the move: a shot or a shotgun, something to just take the edge off, because I get really mad at myself too out there, and that's another thing. I'm trying to be positive vibes, positive energy. I think that's another thing that you could say as a solution. Just give yourself a compliment. Say, hey, Orlando, your hair looks great today. Or, hey, Orlando, like your swing is beautiful, or something like that. So
Yep.
you can do that for yourself. Just, hey, Lex, you got great flow. Hey, Lex, I like you're wearing a cool shirt.
Thank you.
Just be positive.
Thank you. You're just spitting out life advice right now.
Exactly.
I don't know if you wanted to talk any more about golf. The only other thing that I had written down was, what do you think about Jordan Spieth's like pre-swing routine? And did you also see him just hitting the hell out of the grass, just chunking the grass on the driving range?
Yes. I was like, what's going on? I guess they're pros, they can do whatever the fuck they want, but if I'm like a maintenance guy or something on the course, I'm like, buddy, like you are gonna make me work overtime, big time.
Yeah, I don't think Jordan was really pissed. If for people that didn't see it, he just has this new like pre-swing like thought or move where he's really driving like that back elbow down into his side. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, it's really kind of it's an
I think
emphasis
they kept describing it
to shallow the club or something like that.
Yeah, they kept talking about getting on top of it and not getting underneath it. I couldn't really tell you what that means. I have an idea, but I'm not going to try to explain it. And I think he was trying to emphasize that on the range, but basically wasn't hitting balls and was just digging up the entire driving range, which I just thought was pretty hilarious and kind of classic Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, someone is working, and I love Spieth, but yeah, I would be pissed if I worked at the course.
Yeah, for sure. That was it.
No, great point. You got anything else?
No, that was all I had on the US Open.
All right, College World Series. We got off to the start with Stanford and NC State. We said it last week on the show. NC State's one of those teams that plays postseason baseball in the sense they just don't make mistakes. They're very disciplined, which means they're going to be in it at the end of games, which means that leaves an opportunity for the other team to make a mistake. We saw it today, and all this is amplified because it's the postseason, because there's Omaha is just electric right now. I love Omaha. Can't say that enough. And then we had the Vandy. So NC State beat Stanford in the first game. Vandy Zona marathon game. That was electric. We had Kumar Rocker. We had mistakes left and right. How much of that game did you catch that game?
I saw highlights of the first part of it, hopped into that game in the 9th inning, and honestly, it was like pretty awesome to watch that game 9 through whatever inning they finished in.
Yeah, and Arizona kind of just got a fucking tough break, man. I know they missed the opportunity. They miss a few opportunities late in the game, and then they lose playing the infield in, or not playing it. No, they played the infield in.
Yeah.
First and third.
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded. They played the infield in. And then the ball squeaks through, which, you could say it would have been a double play ball. It's a hindsight 2020 thing. What do you think? Do you think they should have been playing the middle infielders back?
I mean, I went back and checked it. Vanderbilt had a righty up. You got to assume with most college baseball players, they're pretty fast. This isn't the big leagues where you just have slow guys just dropping bombs. Like everyone's pretty athletic, everyone's pretty fast. So you can assume this guy was pretty fast. But I mean, that situation, I'm just like, what has Vandy probably done all year? They probably played double play death there. And then all of a sudden, just because you're in the College World Series late in a ball game, they do something they probably haven't done all season. Or Arizona does something they haven't done all season. Sorry about that. And it kind of bites them in the ass. I mean, it hurts that the ball was like right into the double play depth shift would have been.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess it's hindsight 2020, but yeah, I don't see why you don't play the infield double play depth.
Yeah, it is a bad look too if you can't turn the double play there, and that's how you lose. I don't think that's why they lost the game. They failed to get the run in, runner on third, less than 2 out, or runner on second with no out.
Yep.
Fail to get the run in there. You pinch run for Susac, who's your best player. And I get it. You need the speed out there. But also catching like defensively that's the focus. You need your best defender back there. And when you're Vandy, you have the luxury of having 2 really good catchers. And the backup catcher for Arizona might be good and just had a bad game, but he starts clanking balls left and right. And giving up free 90s. So that's kind of how you lose baseball games in the postseason, just actually in general, is free 90s.
Yeah, I actually missed when Susac got taken out. I was just wondering why that other catcher was in the game, and then figured out when I talked to you why that had happened. And that's just, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is where he was when he got taken out to be pinch run for, but it's like another one of those things. Have they done that all year? Probably not. But all of a sudden, coaches feel like they have to do something extra to win these ball games. But I'm like, there's a reason you guys got here. Just play the same ball game you played all year. So that's how I feel about that.
And then Tennessee looked completely overmatched against Virginia. Virginia, once again, a team like NC State, where they're just playing good baseball. That's what they do. They had a lefty on the mound. I'm sorry that his name is slipping my mind, but he was really good. He was mixing speeds. He was up to, 92. He was very, very good, just pounding the zone, and Virginia was just wearing him out offensively. So we won't talk too much on that game, because that Mississippi State-Texas game, I mean, you blinked and it was the 5th inning. Eric Bednar was unbelievable. He was just, you talk about don't fix it if it's not broken. He was just throwing high spin rate fastballs, and Texas couldn't figure out how to hit it.
Yeah, that was I wouldn't say it was weird, but it was, you kind of expect these teams to be able to handle the velocity. Like they see that all year. They're seeing mid 90s, they're seeing upper 90s. That's what they face all year if you're in, the Big 12 or the SEC. Right. And man, they were just getting beat by middle of fastballs all game. And I don't know his name. What is his name? The Mississippi State pitcher?
Eric Bednar.
So Bednar, how many strikeouts did he have? He had like 13 strikeouts through 5 innings or something.
15 Ks through 5 1/3, something like that.
And he would have pitched. So then what happened? He gave up. He got taken out in the 6th or the 7th.
But they have a really good closer who was also doing the same exact thing.
Right, and he had thrown 100 pitches, so I get it. But man, if he had somehow kept his pitch count down, he probably would have gone even longer and gotten more strikeouts, because they just did not have an answer for him.
Yeah, there was elite pitching on display from everyone. Ty Madden of Texas, and then my boy Pete Hansen, fan of the show. Pete Hansen's a fan of OGV.
Let's go.
He was an old friend of the program of the Long Ball podcast. So shout out Pete. He looked really good as well. But yeah, man, Texas just got the bat shoved up their ass, quite frankly. And that happens, you just got to wear it.
And they gave it a shot in the 9th inning. Their leadoff guy hits a home run, so they cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. And then they get runners on first and second with a couple knocks, and just couldn't get the guy in. But I mean, just a little bit too little too late.
2 more games. Stanford, Arizona. Stanford, they beat them 14-5. it seemed like it was a close game just because Arizona's offense is so good. But man, Stanford just absolutely fucking handed it to them. They were piecing balls left and right. I go back to the biggest at bat of the game. There's 2 outs, 2 guys on. I believe there's 2 on. Drew Bowser is fighting balls off left and right. And I don't know, 9-pitch AB. And then he laces a ball into left field that just that's very deflating. This is a mental game also. So you have that happen to you when you're the opposing team. And it's very deflating.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of the game. I saw some highlights and I saw Stanford hit a couple home runs. Usual suspects went deep. And then they won 14-5. I was a little disappointed, but because we've talked about Arizona so much, but hey, we're also Stanford fans. I know you got Stanford to win it.
Smoke the trees, baby. Smoke the trees.
Hey, so they're still in it. They play. Fortunately for them, they play. I mean, there's no easy team, but they're playing Bandy next. So good luck.
Yeah. Brock Jones. Last thing on that. Brock Jones is a motherfucker. That guy's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
he's going to be good. Hammers the ball. And then we had an elite display of pitching. Sam Highfill for NC State tonight. Freshman, stones on the table. You love to see when freshmen let him hang because it just makes you feel good. And then obviously Jack Leiter on the other end. I think he had 16 Ks, 15 Ks. You talk about Eric Bednar and Mississippi State's pitching, what they were doing, where it's just, I'm going to stick with country hardball until you can prove to me that you can hit it. It was kind of the opposite tonight where, Leiter was throwing his usual queso, high spin rate queso, but he's also flipping, breaking balls over for strike one, which is such an underrated thing. He's throwing off speed behind in the count. Sam Highfill is backing up a curveball with a changeup. It was elite pitching, like mindset pitching in this game today. And you could probably tell it in my voice. I was fired up to watch.
How deep did each of those guys go in the game?
So Leiter was 120. I think Leiter might have gone all 8 innings.
Okay.
They didn't pitch tonight. He was at 125. Sam Highfill went until, I believe he went 6 or 7, but they have this other guy, Justice, this lefty. He was 90 to 94 with sink and a nasty hammer. So that, like, when you have a dude like that out of the pen, like Mississippi State does, and NC State, that is a big advantage. So
yeah, and I don't know, like same thing. I'm not super familiar with all these players, but I mean, the guy for NC State who hit that home run, pretty impressive. Just leaned into a fastball and
almost fucking tittied.
About 20 rows deep into the right center field stands.
That's where I got on the topic of celebrations. Like when you hit a ball like that, I was talking with Blake, you shouldn't even have to run. Like you should just be able to go to the dugout, do like a touchdown celebration at home plate.
Dude, I kind of like as a hitter, getting like that little victory lap around the bases. It's pretty epic. It's worth it. Doesn't really get old, but hey, they do that in slow pitch softball. You hit a home run and then you just go out to the dugout.
Yeah, old fatty just walking sluggishly back to the dugout after hitting a dong.
Yep.
Very quickly, NBA playoffs, game 7, Philly, the process. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with this process. I think you got to start a new process. Benton Simmons, like NBA Twitter is elite. It's the best type of Twitter. That was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen with the Ben Simmons slander.
Well, do you have any specific examples or just general comments about that? I'd love to hear more. I'm not super familiar with what they were saying. I mean, I know what they're saying, but I want to hear how they were saying it.
Yeah, so there was one tweet that I retweeted. Why the fuck does Ben Simmons wear a shooting sleeve? Someone updated his Wikipedia page to playing for the Shanghai Sharks.
This is good.
This one here is Ben Simmons had like a 1.4 GPA 2. He'd really be changing tires if he wasn't 6'10". Shaq said that if he was in my locker room, I would have knocked his ass out. So Shaq just went straight. I would beat the shit out of him.
Dude, that sucks, man. Oh my God, that sucks to have like a guy like Shaq say that about you. But oh my God, I mean, to be on the bench, he was on the bench for the last minute of the game when you're supposed to be
Yeah.
like the all-star of the team. Like, dude, he was we talked about headspace last time. That
Mhm.
guy was in a bad headspace. That guy had zero confidence in those last couple games. Because I mean, he's obviously, we all know he's not a good shooter, but the way that he was shooting the ball and not shooting the ball was like unbelievable.
Yeah, there was one tweet also where it just had the screen grab of him going to the rim, and it was Trae Young was the only person in front of him. Known rim protector, 6'2" Trae Young was right in front of him, and then he gave the ball up.
Oh my God. Trae Young has like one of the worst like defensive ratings in the league too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then someone in backyard basketball changed his confidence level to 0.
They still make backyard basketball?
It was just a graphic that I saw.
Oh my
Unbelievable. It's
God,
just
that's
an unbelievable.
hilarious.
Yeah, just an
Yeah, so
unbelievable day of content.
yeah, I heard, I mean, not surprising, but Philadelphia booing their own team, booing Ben
Mhm.
Simmons, that hurts. That's a Philadelphia thing though. Trae Young just getting shit on the entire playoffs, but showing up and being kind of a rude one. So shout out Trae Young for being awesome.
Yeah, I love Trae Young. He's a motherfucker. He's another motherfucker.
The content on Trae Young too, if you haven't seen that, is pretty funny. It'll be like, you guys let this guy beat you in 7, and it's like, you know, Trae Young with a picture of all these guys, and he's just at their camps or whatever, or just like a middle school picture, or that like one video where he's doing like trying to be like a he's trying to do like a sexy dance or something. It's just like they're just roasting his ass. But hey, he went out there and won the series.
Yeah, Trae Young, really good at basketball. There's one more thing that I was gonna say. Well, whatever. We've been great. There's also one like the Kevin Herter stuff was great too. Oh, Philly. Philly, it just kind of amplifies the whole situation. It's kind of the dot on the I, the exclamation point on the process,
Yeah.
because the Philly fans make this even better because they're just like, what the fuck? I was texting with a bunch of Philly fans that I know, and it's like they're just dumbfounded. So
Yeah.
that was great. That was all good. This has been a really good show, by the way, and we're being efficient.
Let's go. Did you want to talk about Nets Bucks at all?
Oh shit! Didn't even come up with that. KD. I mean, what else needs to be said about KD? And then
I'm
Giannis, the Giannis slander. Fuck the Giannis slander. That guy has the yips. He has full yips, and he's still dropping 38, 14, and 10.
I know that's what people keep saying, like, oh, Giannis is not himself. And then I keep looking at the stat line, like, well, what's he supposed to do then? Because he's dropping 30 plus and he's having a triple double every game. So I think one of the most hilarious, again, didn't watch a ton of the series, just kind of picked up bits and pieces from it. But one of the most hilarious things that I just kept seeing is just PJ Tucker just getting in Durant's face, but Durant just dropping 40 and 49 right in his grill every night. And I saw I saw a headline in the San Francisco Chronicle. I think my mom told it to me that like PJ Tucker and the real MVP get into it, referring to Kevin Durant's mom as the real MVP from Kevin Durant's speech. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I like that one.
And so I guess PJ Tucker was not only getting into it with Durant, but just also yelling at Durant's mom, who's like sitting courtside. Meanwhile, Durant is just like hitting game tying shots, huge shots the entire time. So he's
Literally 2 inches away from the sickest game winner we've ever seen.
I mean, to even make that and to go into overtime is like unbelievable. People just like, all right, here we go in overtime. I'm like, can we not appreciate how ridiculous that shot was, and their season would have been over if he missed that? So, and then I think they scored like 4 points in the overtime or something like that.
Yeah, and then ESPN had some tweet that was like, Kyrie showing support for his team. It's like, what the no shit, he's on the team. Like, yeah, teammate shows support to teammates that isn't playing in the game. Shocker. Weird. Credit to him.
But anyway, that's our we talked about that it was probably going to be a Suns Nets championship. Nets are out. So who do you got between the Hawks and the Bucks?
I think it's going to be Suns Bucks,
Right.
and I really love it that we're going to see one of these new guys get their first title.
Finally, no LeBron. I mean, obviously, I love the Warriors. I mean, they weren't in it last year either, but no Warriors, no
Hmm.
LeBron, no Lakers. Not really a super team in it, except for the Clippers. Kind of, I guess you call the Clippers a super team. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be Suns Bucks too.
Yep, yep. We're in agreement. All right, let's get to decompression.
Let's decompress.
This is kind of a long debate. I haven't really debated it with too many people. It's more of an internal debate going on in my brain. I
Okay.
can't figure it out. I think I hate it, but also like you kind of have this I'm a big peer pressure guy. So like kind of have this peer pressure thing. Maybe I love it. Shower beers. Shower beers. I think the majority of people enjoy shower beers. I want to know where you're at with shower beers.
First of all, shower beers are just a thing that it's caught in steam on social media, and everyone likes to post their little memes about shower beers and how nice a shower beer is when you come home or if you're going out. Um, I'm not a huge fan of shower beers. I don't actively try to do that. I don't like the multiple liquids going on. I don't like getting, you know, shower water and beer in my mouth at the same time. I don't like my can steaming up. I don't like the beer getting warm. I don't like forgetting about it in the shower. So you know what? I'm not a fan either.
Dude, that is my exact thought. Is like what the water is going to get in my beer, and then all of a sudden I'm drinking beer and shower water, and it's like that's not pleasant. It's getting warm. And then yeah, let's say you leave the beer in the shower, and it's now you look like an asshole that just is drinking beers in the shower all the time, and you kind of just feel like a piece of shit. So
If
so
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been to a Vegas pool party, you kind of know where we're coming at. You buy one of those drinks for $40 or $50, and you're being a little rambunctious, so you bring it into the pool with you. And soon enough, your drink stays full, and you're wondering why. It's because you're drinking half chlorinated pool water and half your drink, and that's no fun. And this is the same idea.
not only that, I'd say that's to an extreme degree because there's probably a lot more. You're probably drinking some semen too. There's probably semen in the
Oh
pool.
God. Okay, I
Is
wasn't thinking that, but
you don't think there's semen in the water at Vegas pool parties? It's probably
dude,
littered with semen.
I wouldn't count anything out at a Vegas pool party.
It's probably a lot more than semen. It's probably like hepatitis. Now I'm really rethinking. Next time we go
Dude.
to Vegas,
Now
I'm probably not going to bring a
I'm
drink in
thinking
the
I
pool
shouldn't
with
even
me.
go in the pool.
Oh, I'm going in the pool. Without a doubt, going in the pool still. I'm gonna be shit faced. Like there's
Are you,
gonna be.
are you gonna dunk your head?
I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll probably end up going head dunk, just because like you don't think about that stuff in the moment. Like right now, me and you talking completely sober. Are you sober? You got a flight to the Big Apple. You might want to take the edge off a little bit.
Dude, I
But
gotta be yeah, I'm sober, so no, I'm not thinking about dunking my head in that pool after what we just talked about.
right. But then you get heat of the moment. You're out there competing with the fellas, just trying to make it through the day, make it, and then to the night in Vegas, which is remarkable that you find this Jordan Game 6 level of being able to go all day at a Vegas pool party and then somehow make it out at night. Probably have a little bit of PEDs in there if we're being completely honest. But nonetheless, yeah, I love how this just turned into the Vegas pool party scene. Um, but yeah, you're probably going full head dunk, probably bringing a drink in there still and just sucking it up. But it's disgusting when I think about right now what's in a Vegas pool at a Vegas pool party. Do they clean it? How often do they clean, you think?
I have a feeling they just put a ton of chlorine in that thing all the time. Um, but hey, I'm pretty happy with this is how decompression has gone. This is how I would expect it to go. It just goes off on a tangent and you just ride with it. I don't know if we want to go here, but I'm going to bring back a little personal story with Orlando. Maybe I can get him to post the picture or the video uh, where we went to a night pool party, dressed up, thinking we were going to a club, didn't know it was a pool. So we were the only ones dressed up in nice pants and and button down shirts and the whole deal. And we just, kind of rolled with it. Razzo decides that he's going to take all of his clothes off and just put them in a pile next to the pool with hundreds and hundreds of people. And there's a picture of Orlando just in his underwear, just going bananas next to just in the pool by himself. So a little anecdote for you guys that don't know Razzo that well or didn't know that story.
Yeah, there was a few aspects of that story. We were on a big marshmallow hype our last year of college. We called that the Las Vegas Regional because we never made the postseason at Davis. So we just made up our own regional and went to Vegas last weekend of the year. Yeah, the night pool party, we definitely had to improvise. It was called Night Swim, so we probably should have had some sort of idea that this is a night pool party. It's not it's not just
nice
a normal
club.
It's not a normal club scene. So why the fuck you wearing button downs and nice pants? But then, yeah, went full chonies into the pool, which felt great, felt amazing. I was ready to walk home just in my chonies. You had to literally tell me, dude, Razzo, I was gonna leave my shoes there as well. I had pretty nice shoes. And you had to literally convince me, like, no, dude, put your clothes on and find your shoes because this is a nice pair of shoes.
Well, the fact that you just didn't get your wallet or phone taken night one, just leaving it next to the pool, is absolutely remarkable. That could have put a huge dent in your trip. But hey, you risked it, and it was worth it. You made the right call.
Yeah, we were all shit face. I mean,
We were amongst it.
We were amongst it, but I for some reason I didn't have a sip of alcohol while we were there. I just kept going to this neighboring party's kind of cabana, if you say, and just kept taking their Red Bulls. So I think I had like I think I had like 5 just Red Bulls at Marshmallow, which ended up being a pretty good decision because if I probably had more alcohol, there's no way I'm making it through that concert.
No, we would have had to try to find you wherever you were if you kept doing that.
Yeah, so that was a great story, great decompression, and a great show, Lex. Great show.
Thanks. Thank you for having me again.
All right, follow the Instagram OGV_golf. I'm posting a lot of stuff on there, some good content. Follow my Instagram at Orazo3 and follow Lex's Instagram
at Alex E. Aguirre. And don't forget to let them know that we're on a podcast format as well.
Yes, we are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. I believe we're on a couple others that are slipping my mind, but Spotify and Apple Podcasts, 2 main ones. Wherever you get your podcasts, OGV is on there. Great show. Overall, follow my Twitter too. I'm tweeting out some good college baseball stuff, just kind of my thoughts, what I'm seeing from pitchers and giving some in-game analysis.
Yep, I'm following you. I'm liking your posts. Keep it up.
All right, great show. Have a safe flight to the Big Apple, son.
Thank you, Orlando.